So, my sister has no friends, and she just lost her job, so she's in a very bad financial spot. I hate her boyfriend, Rhys, because I know that he's using her, but she refuses to see it. Well, I help her. But what she decides to do to me completely stabbed me in the back, and, well, I'm going to get a sort of revenge. I just wanted to get your opinion on this because my brother and my parents are on my case after I've done nothing but try and support my sister. She's younger than me by 2 years, but she's a bit immature and has made some terrible life choices in her past. One of her bad choices was the guy that she's been dating for the past year, Rhys. There are several reasons why I feel that he's not the guy for her. For starters, he's made her dump all her friends and just spend time with him instead. I did not know about it. I only knew when I met one of Amelia's friends who told me that she's no longer friends with her because of her boyfriend. Another thing is that he makes her spend time helping him with his hobbies, but she never gets alone time for herself. She's complained to me about it, and I've been tempted to tell her that this guy's not supportive of her, and I don't see them working in the long run. I was right about the fact that he's not supportive. I just did not know how much he was taking advantage of my sister at the time. Well, about 2 weeks ago, my sister gets laid off from work. She barely got any money from the company, which was now bankrupt, and now she was just stuck looking for a job. The worst part was that she had just gotten a promotion several months ago, so she spoiled herself with a car and bought gifts for every single person in her life, even her boyfriend. Since we're close, I was the first person to know that she was absolutely in financial ruin. She told me that she did not even know how she was going to pay rent, or heck, buy food at that point. I told her to calm down since it was just a few days since she got laid off. I told her that if she needed anything, then I would be there for her. I earn a good salary, but I live a very modest life. I have very few interests beyond reading and going to the gym. So after paying some of my bills, I always have money left over. Well, a few days later, she told me that she got kicked out of the place that she was staying. It didn't make sense to me. Since she was only a few days late with paying the rent, how could they kick her out? That was when she told me that she lied. She got let go several months ago, and she's been doing few odd jobs for the past few months, but let me tell ya, the debts were adding up. She was also scared to let people know that she did not have a job yet, and she was basically broke. I deeply sympathized with her situation, then asked her if maybe she could ask Rhys to sell the gaming console that she bought him some months ago. I remember seeing the receipt for it when she bought it and asking her if she could afford it. She told me that since she had been promoted to the manager, she did not have to worry about money anymore. Well, she told me that she was also afraid just to tell him. I believe that in any relationship you have to be honest with your partner, otherwise it simply won't work out. For her to move in with me, it was going to be complicated as my landlord is not the nicest person. I gave her money for a motel for several days while I tried to convince my landlord to let her stay with me just for a bit. At that time, I decided to talk to her boyfriend and let her know what was happening. He had to know that his girlfriend was going through a tough time financially and that he had to support her. When I told him, he looked very deflated, as I expected him to be. He asked if there was anything that he could do, and I suggested that she should move in with him. I knew that she was always at his place, plus they've been together for a year, so I didn't think that it was a problem. He told me that he simply did not have the space, but I asked him why he would need another room since, well, she was his girlfriend. He told me that he just could not. He could do anything for her, but apparently he couldn't take her in when she needed it the most. He felt that since I'm her sister, then it's up to me to find her a place to stay. I thought that it was very rich coming from him. When he posts her on social media, he makes such bold declarations. My sister has spent so much money and time on that man, but he cannot even help her out with a place to stay for a few days. He was starting to show his true colors now that she was unemployed. I told him that if he could not put her up with a place to stay, then he should sell the Xbox that she bought him and gave her the cash so that she could support herself just for a while. Can you believe that he had the nerve to look offended? He told me that he simply could not even believe that I asked him to do such a thing. I told him that it was just a gaming console, bro, and it could not be me more important than his girlfriend. We started to argue and he showed me the door. Since he was clearly not going to help her out, I had to beg my landlord and promise to pay extra money so that she could stay with me. He charged me a hefty amount, but at least my sister would have somebody to stay with. She moved into my house and a few days ago. To be honest, it was very exciting. I know that times are tough for her, but the past few days have been great for us just to bond. We were able to talk about our personal and professional lives. It was then that she confided in me about how she had not been doing well mentally, but had been hiding it from others. She said that she missed her friends and was feeling so lonely. She had developed an addiction to sleeping tablets because the depression was too much for her to deal with. I told her that maybe she should contact her friends and that Rhys should not be telling her who she can and cannot be friends with. Rhys is a very selfish person sometimes. He expects her to suffice her time for him, but is unable to do the same for her. She still does not know that I asked him to help her out, but he refused. I know that if she finds out that he cares more about his Xbox than her, she's going to be very upset about it. We had an amazing couple of days, which is until she went to see Rhys. When she came back, she said something that made, me really mad, and made me tell her that her boyfriend doesn't care about her and he's simply using her. She told me that she wanted to go for a weekend away with him, but that he wanted her to pay for her half. I asked why he would say that since she knows, you're not employed. She told me that she was definitely going to get a job soon. There was an old contact who promised her a job. I asked why this weekend away was important and why he could not just pay for it himself. She tells me that she was going to meet his parents for the first time, and she was certain that he was going to propose this weekend. This is what he does. He drops all those hints so that she does stuff for him hoping to get a ring. I told her that she had to keep on dreaming because he was not going to marry her. He already got everything that he wanted from her, and he didn't respect her as well, so why did she think that he was simply going to marry her? She went to her room weeping, and then an hour later, I got a call from my mother and brother. They told me to apologize to her immediately, and that just because I saved her did not mean that I had to put her down like that. My brother told me that I always wanted to be praised for being a good person, of which I was, but I had to stop acting as if I was the judge of her life. So, my mother and brother are both pulling together money so that she'll go on holiday with him. I know that she's wrong and he's not going to propose to her because he doesn't love her. He loves her only when she has money to give him. But hey, don't worry, I will be waiting to pick up the pieces when she gets back. I was really insensitive by telling her the truth about it, I guess. Her dear boyfriend. For I feel that telling her the truth now is better than when she's too far gone. I am her older sister, and I have much, much more experience in dating than she does, therefore she must listen to me. Update number 1, so I was not 100% correct. Hey guys, so, like I said, I was not 100% correct in my prediction. He did take her to meet her parents and he proposed to her. She's very happy now, but I'm wondering how she's going to pay for the wedding since she's broke. She told me that we fought, but she wanted to tell me before she left. There is a position opening up at a tech startup in 2 months. She's already had her interview with the company, and it's guaranteed that she's going to work with them. She still needs a place to stay for the duration, and she promised me that as soon as she starts getting paid again, she will pay me back the rent and food that she's going to use. Since she is the one who's always home, she had been helping me by running some of the errands. She swears that she doesn't mind. She told me that it helps to keep her busy, but of course my meddling mother says that I should not be allowing her to clean the house. It's always been like this with Mother. She let me clean up while Amelia was not allowed to touch a thing. But Amelia spoke up against my mom and told her that it's the least she can do, since I'm being so hospitable. I'm glad that she's starting to realize how much I'm truly doing for her. I don't nag her. She gets to do whatever she wants in the house, eat as much as she wants, and even bring Rhys over, even if I despise the guy. I'm glad that she's grateful to me and she has dropped that spoiled brat attitude that she used to have. But trust me, in the coming months ahead, I don't want any drama in the house. As long as she keeps it clean and she does not mess up my stuff, then we'll be good. I do wonder, though, if I should tell her what her boyfriend said. But that would make me look like I'm trying to break up her engagement. I don't want to be that girl, so I will spare her little heart. Update number 2. Never have I met a person lazier than my sister. Her job's starting in 6 weeks, but the past 2 weeks have felt like absolutely a decade. When she uses my stuff, she doesn't put it back in its respective spots, which does my head in. I prefer a clean house where everything is in order. I don't think that's too much to ask for. She knows that, but she does stuff like use all my soap and, quote, forget to replace it. Use the wrong cookware, burning the food most of the time, and when she washes clothes, she washes hers alone. I don't get why she does that. It's not like when I buy food, I buy it for myself only, and I don't buy any for her. I buy her clothes, pay for her internet, and allow her to have friends over. But every time I ask her not to do certain things, she does not listen. Today, we had a big fight which led to both of us saying some things that were probably better left unsaid. I have a white dress that I love. An ex bought it for me, and even though, we're done, I still like to wear that dress when I have important meetings. I washed the dress and put it in the dryer. But when I remembered to check it, I saw that it wasn't there. I thought that she might have removed it for me, so I knocked on the door, but there was no response. I sent her several text messages, but she didn't reply. I was attending this meeting at 4 p.m. and already panicking, so I just wore something else. When I came back home, she was wearing my dress, and it was so disgustingly dirty, with what looked like a birthday cake smeared all over it. She excitedly told me that she was babysitting for this rich couple, and, well, they gave her a lot of money. But then I asked her why she was wearing my white dress. She told me that since we share clothes, she did not think that I minded, and then to my horror, I noticed that a button was missing. It was a very unique button which I've never seen before. When one of them fell off and I tried to get a replacement, I was unable to do so. Now it has left with 2 of the buttons. She told me that it was no big deal. She would definitely wash it, and I asked if she was insane to wear a white dress to a babysitting gig. Then she handed me $50 and told me to get it washed. I told her that the dress was the dress I wanted to wear to my meeting that day, and now she ruined my entire day. I told her that my ex bought it for me. She told me it was a dress that my ex bought. There's no way that it was important as I thought it was, because he's my ex. He's just an ex, and you need to get over it. How do you expect to move on with your life if you're still getting over him? She burst out, and I quote, "So, just because you got engaged first, even though you're younger than me, you feel like you can give a relationship advice, huh? Focus on cleaning the house, since that's all you're good at these days as you lost your job." I said that, and then I left her standing there. She's not spoken to me since I've told her that, and I heard her leave. Probably off to spend the money she got babysitting instead of contributing anything to the household. I know that she's my sister, but she's simply taking advantage, all of it, of how kind I am towards her. I took her in when she had nothing. She owes me everything. Even that job is starting in a few weeks. If it was not for me, then she would be homeless. Some people are just ungrateful. You offer them something, but they just want to bite the whole hand that feeds them. Update: she has started working. So, my sister started working a few days ago. Work is going great, but at home, we're just always fighting with each other. She keeps on saying that she's not my maid and refuses to contribute to the household. I'm not going to kick her out, even though I should, because she's being extremely disrespectful. If I do that, I will look like a bad person, and then my brother will just be proven to be correct. He's wrong. They are all wrong. I took her in because I am a good person. The only other option was for Mom and my brother to take her in. Both of them live in a very rural area with no opportunities. She would not have survived there at all. She appears to have forgotten. She's been talking about her upcoming wedding all week, showing me the expensive dress that she wants to buy and whatnot. I get it. She got engaged first, and we should all be happy for her. She doesn't have to stick it to my face every single day, though. I'm just waiting for the day that she gets paid and starts paying me back so that she can leave. She doesn't even pull her weight. Nothing around the house. She still has not gotten paid, and I am the one paying for her transport, food, and anything else that she needs. I'm not even planning to make her pay back that stuff because it's just a small thing. But when it comes to the rent that she'll have to contribute because my landlord's charging me an absolute arm and a leg so that I can keep her staying with me. Yet she gives me attitude when she feels like it, and I have to be the one who makes peace with her. It just makes no sense. She has always been like this, even when we were younger. I was stupid to think that she could have possibly changed. Update: she got money, and you'll never believe what she did with it. I know that some of you have been saying that I've been too hard on my sister. I hear you loud and clear. Even though I've sacrificed so much of my time to help her when no one else does, I'm suddenly jealous of her. That little ring that she has on her finger does not mean anything to her, because her man doesn't love her. He's simply using her. Even though we've barely spoken, except for being polite to one another, I have noticed that there's been trouble in paradise. Before, when she was working, he could always take her out on dates and just FaceTime with her. But then, when I tried to start talking about him, she told me that I should just mind my own dang business. Well, it appears that she has money once again. She's been working for a few months now, but has been settling her debts. She promised me that once she was done, she would repay me and then start looking into getting a place of her own. Well, this month, I was expecting that she would at least give me some money or start contributing to the household. But payday came and went, and she did nothing. And I mean nothing. So, I asked her nicely when she was going to start contributing to the house. She told me that I had to be patient because she also had people to pay, and that I was stressing her by being constantly on her case. I was taken aback by her rude comment. I asked if this is how she treated me now that she was earning some money. She tells me that I was not done making her my slave who has to clean my house all the time. Now I was going to put a mental strain on her as well, huh? Well, I told her to take back those words because since this was my house, she had to follow my rules or simply leave. She told me that she was going to leave and go stay with Rhys because I was being absolutely so rude to her. I told her that she was free to go live with him, but she should be prepared to come back to my house because he didn't want her at his house. She just assumed that I was lying. Well, little does she know, brushing it off, but I added that he refused to sell his console in order to help her when she was in financial trouble. She looked like I absolutely just crushed her little world. There, now she knew what reality she was in. She was in this fairy tale reality where this man loved her and everyone else was trying to break them apart. She's already lost most of her friends because of him. She's bound to lose so much more with time. She looked me straight in the eyes and told me that I was lying. And then she went to her room. She even stayed there for a couple of hours. And then came out with a rucksack. She told me not to wait up for her because she was leaving. I told her to give me my money first and then she could leave. She tells me that she didn't have the money and she did not want to deal with me right now. So I told her to leave her stress at the door when she was talking to me because I am not her punching bag. She manhandled me and forcefully left my apartment at this point. Oh man, my wrists are bruised from when she forcefully left. I felt that she was lying to me about not having money. If she was not going to give it to me, then I would have no choice but to forcefully take it. Otherwise, I was going to sell her things one by one. She thinks that she can control me in my own house. Well, she has another thing coming for her. I have the spare key to her room, so I started looking through it. I found out that she was hoarding snacks in her room, even though I'm the one buying it. Something I make sure to offer to her too. And then I stumbled upon the receipt of the phone that she bought for $3,000. And I was flabbergasted. That much money for a phone? She had to be out of her mind. I checked and I saw that there was no phone box, so she did have money and she was spoiling herself with it instead of paying me back. I called the locksmith and got him to change all the locks on the house. Everything in her room, her laptop, work stuff, clothing, everything. After this weekend, I know she's going to come crawling back, but she'll find the door locked. If she does not pay me back, then I have every right to sell her things off one by one, and there's nothing she can do about it. If she can buy a phone for $3,000, then she can contribute to the household stuff, don't you think? I see it now. She's been taking advantage of my kindness and using me for accommodations and food. Well, that stops today. Update. The phone was not hers. So, I was right. After a weekend of ignoring my text messages, she called me on Monday morning because she needed to get into her room and get her stuff. Well, I told her that I would give her stuff back if she paid me back the money. She was not happy about that. She reminded me that she did not have money. So then I asked her how she could afford a $3,000 phone if she's claiming to not have money. She told me that it wasn't hers. It was Rhys. I nearly popped a vein. Who buys a man such an expensive phone? She did it because she wanted to make up for him taking care of her these past few months. I think I'm dumb or something, because haven't I been the one looking after her for all these months, or am I losing my mind? Where is my phone? She told me that she already has done enough for me. She was cleaning my house for the past few months, so she feels as if it's enough of the payment. I told her that she had a few days to get me my money, and I don't care how she does it. If my money does not reflect by Friday, then she'll see who I am. I've been too nice to her. It's time for me to show her tough love as her older sister. When she wakes up to the fact that Rhys doesn't love her, that's when she'll beg for my forgiveness. But the sad part is that she'll only realize this when I'm long gone from her life. Next update, a few days later, Saturday. On Friday, I waited and waited and waited, but no money came. Well, if I had been her, I would have returned the phone and paid back the money. But clearly, I am the one who got the brains in the family, right? Well, even though I didn't want to, I had to involve her mother, so that she would know that her daughter was too far gone to even be saved at this point. My mother told me that we should sort each other out and she wanted no part of it. My brother also said the same thing, which is very hypocritical of them because back when I said something about my sister's relationship, why did they back her up then? But now that I'm complaining about how she's screwing me over, they have nothing to say about it. Well, it is okay. I will not forget where their alliances lie. So, you must be wondering what I did after she failed to deposit the money in time. I auctioned off her stuff on eBay, and I made really good money which I used to replenish my savings account. And then I took myself out on a mini vacation this weekend. I turned my phone off and I'm writing this on my laptop. I will upload it when I get an internet connection. She could lose her job for all I care. It's not like I didn't warn her that I was going to do something. Well then, time for me to go back to my mini vacation. I don't want any annoying family members ruining my vibe this weekend. They all chose to take her side even though I'm the victim here. So, I did what I had to do. Her laptop, gadgets, clothes, they're all gone. I know that she's going to have an absolute meltdown when she finds out, but I simply don't care. What do? I fight fire with fire, disrespect with disrespect. Update. Final update. Sister's life imploded. Hey guys, this is probably going to be a final update, at least for a while. My sister's life imploded after I sold her stuff, and I'm not taking the blame for it. She's badmouthed me to our family and my friends, but I will not apologize. I told her to give me my money by that Friday, and she chose not to. As they say, F around and find out. It's not my fault that her laptop contained important work files and she got fired after losing them. After she got fired, she had to start staying with her boyfriend. One day, he told her that things are not working out and he wants to see other people. With no job, no relationship, and everyone laughing at her, she had no choice but to move back to the remote town where we lived. She's now staying with her mother, refuses to get a job, and is drinking a lot. My brothers called several times to complain and blame me for everything that went wrong. I don't think that I'm at fault. She made her own bed and now she has to lie down in it. Look at it from my point of view. Those months ago, when she lost her first job, she was close to losing him too, and I helped save her from absolute disaster. She then proceeded to be so ungrateful and disrespect me in my own house. And then she was dumb enough to buy him such an expensive phone, which I found to be ridiculous. She thought that she could buy his loyalty, but I could have told her for free that he does not love her. I saw the way he treated her. Everyone did, but they were all too nice to say anything about it. So, my mom's been nagging me to help her out with my sister because she's out of control. I'm not dumb. I don't want to put myself through that again. It's funny that my mom wants me to help her out now that her golden child is somehow in trouble. I think that I'm going to sit this one out. Thanks. Well, all of them, including my brother, need to face the consequences of their actions. I've done so much for all of them, but they've never been grateful to me. When things go wrong, I have to swoop in and help them, but they don't want to do the same for me. I really wish that I did not have them as my family. In fact, I don't know why I still have their phone numbers and contact details. Let me delete all of that right now as I speak. They're all a bunch of hypocrites to me, who take my help for granted. I hope that they're having fun in that small little town where there's absolutely no opportunity to grow. I'm going to be right here, living my awesome best life with no sister, no brother or mother to stress me out. I'm done being stressed. From now on, I only take care of number one, and that's me. I don't know what it took for Amelia to finally realize that Rhys was using her. Well, she basically never found out. It didn't matter how much OP tried to help. It just didn't work out and they ended up breaking up. Rhys and Amelia. Amelia moving back home with her parents in some desolate land. Well, apparently there's no opportunity. You have to realize, though, that, well, OP tried to help. Let me know your thoughts about this story, guys. Maybe you've been in a similar situation and you just want to share your thoughts on it. Drop it in the comment section. It's the best way to discuss. Guys, I post every single day. If you like this type of content, make sure you're subscribed just so you don't miss any future videos. Have a fantastic day and I'll see you tomorrow. And remember, it's cool to be kind. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.